The story begins with a moment the world was never prepared for, a moment when Europe suddenly realized that its future, its security, and even its economic survival were tied to a country many once underestimated. What if the key to Europe's stability is not in Brussels, Berlin, or Paris, but in Kiev? What if the real reason Europe needs Ukraine to defeat Russia is far bigger than borders, alliances, or political promises? This is the hidden truth reshaping global power, and today we are diving into it. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Frontline Report channel. Please subscribe and like my videos because today's deep analysis will change how you see the entire European continent and the global battlefield. Europe's strategic landscape has transformed dramatically since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine. For decades, European power rested on diplomacy, economics, and soft alliances. But the invasion shattered that illusion, exposing vulnerabilities Europe hoped would never surface. The exterior reality of Europe's involvement with Ukraine isn't just about moral support, partnerships, or humanitarian aid. It's about geography, security corridors, and strategic buffer zones that have mattered for centuries. Historically, Ukraine has been Europe's shield. Not officially, not formally, but physically. The vast plains of Eastern Europe are superhighways for invading armies. From Napoleon to Hitler to Stalin, every major assault on the continent used the same open geography. Ukraine is the gateway. If Ukraine falls, Europe is exposed, and every European leader knows this. Behind closed doors, EU officials admit something critical. Ukraine's resistance is Europe's first line of defense. Without Ukrainian forces halting Russia's advance, NATO would be dealing with direct military pressure on Poland, Slovakia, Romania, and the Baltic states. That would mean NATO troops deployed on new active battlefronts, skyrocketing defense costs, and a potential Article 5 conflict Russia hopes to avoid, but would immediately exploit if given the chance. Europe wants peace, but peace can only exist if the line of conflict stays far away from the EU borders. That exterior view of Ukraine's landscape, geography, and position makes the country indispensable. Ukraine doesn't just protect itself, it protects the entire European continent. Inside the political corridors of Europe, the interior discussion is surprisingly blunt. European leaders privately acknowledge that supporting Ukraine is far cheaper, safer, and more strategic than fighting Russia directly. If Ukraine collapses, Europe faces a nightmare scenario. Millions more refugees, massive border militarization, shattered energy networks, cyber attacks, skyrocketing inflation, and direct Russian military pressure. So the interior view is simple: Europe must help Ukraine win because the alternative is catastrophic. The interior concern is survival, not charity. Performance on the battlefield has become another major factor driving Europe's support. Ukraine has performed far better militarily than many European intelligence agencies initially predicted. Their rapid defense adaptation, their successful integration of Western systems, and their effective use of drones, missiles, and modern artillery have shocked military planners and exposed how outdated many European armies had become. Ukraine's performance is essentially teaching Europe how to fight a 21st century war. Their success benefits Europe because every Russian tank destroyed in Donetsk, every armored vehicle burned in Luhansk, and every missile site eliminated in Crimea is one less threat for Europe. Ukrainian performance has bought Europe time to rebuild its own defenses, increase weapon production, restore ammunition stockpiles, and modernize its militaries. Safety features in this geopolitical struggle are not like safety features in a car. They're about preventing war from spreading. Europe needs Ukraine to maintain a stable buffer, to keep Russian forces locked away from NATO's territory. Supporting Ukraine also prevents Russia from testing the alliance's response time or unity. If Russia smells weakness, it will expand. History proves it. Ukraine's defense provides Europe with an invisible safety barrier, one that keeps NATO's borders calm, protects vital infrastructure, and prevents Russian hybrid warfare from escalating into something far more dangerous. Ukraine is Europe's firewall. Europe sees unique selling points in Ukraine that go beyond security. Ukraine is a massive agricultural powerhouse, supplying critical grains, food, and fertilizers to global markets. A strong Ukraine stabilizes global food supply chains, preventing shortages and price spikes that directly affect European consumers. Ukraine is also rich in natural resources, including rare earth minerals essential for batteries, electronics, and renewable technologies. Europe desperately needs these materials for its energy transition plan. A defeated Ukraine would put all these resources in Russian hands, allowing Moscow to manipulate global supply chains. Europe cannot allow Russia to control these economic lifelines. Ukraine's tech sector is another major factor. The country is home to one of the world's fastest growing IT industries, a crucial partner to European digital companies. Europe has become dependent on Ukrainian cyber experts, engineers, and AI development teams. A stable, victorious Ukraine strengthens Europe's digital future. A defeated Ukraine destroys it. These unique selling points make Ukraine not just a partner, but a pillar of Europe's future economy. When it comes to price, Europe is making a simple calculation. The cost of supporting Ukraine is high, but the price of not supporting Ukraine is far higher. If Russia wins, Europe will be forced into an arms race, spending trillions to fortify borders, develop missile systems, and prepare for potential conflict. Defense budgets would skyrocket, economies would collapse under pressure, and political unity would fracture. By supporting Ukraine, Europe pays a high price, but it avoids a catastrophic one. Economically, politically, and militarily, Ukraine's victory is the cheaper, safer option. Ultimately, the conclusion is crystal clear. Europe needs Ukraine to win because Ukraine's battle is Europe's battle. Ukraine is the shield, the buffer, the barrier, the teacher, the partner, the economic stabilizer, and the security guarantee. Without Ukraine, Europe stands alone against a Russia that has already made its intentions unmistakable. Europe doesn't just want Ukraine to defeat Russia. Europe needs it because Ukraine's victory secures Europe's future. This truth is rarely spoken openly, but it defines every major European decision today. Supporting Ukraine isn't charity, it's strategy, it's survival, it's the protection of an entire continent. And that is the real reason Europe needs Ukraine to defeat Russia, not tomorrow, not eventually, but now. Thank you for watching the Frontline Report. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video. There is more to uncover, and together we will continue breaking down the stories reshaping our world.